أن يجزيكم أحسن الجزاء بمجيئكم وأطلب من كل واحد منا أن يزور الأماكن المختلفة ليرى بنفسه ولنفسه ماذا يوجد في عالم الإسلام بالنسبة للمأكولات واللباس وما إلى ذلك. نشكركم ونشكر الله بحضوركم ونطلب من الله إذا حان وقتكم للرجوع أن ترجعوا بالسلام آمنين إن شاء الله إن شاء الله إن شاء الله. That was the other language that I learned recently. I was trying to practice. It sounds like Nubian language, but not. I wish I could speak the language here, Luganda, that language is sweet. Kambabuye, it is a very nice language. Only that I am very poor. Naye, I'll keep trying myself. Mpola, I will try. Mpola, it means slowly, or small. No, slowly, not small. I am around present to help you speak it. If you didn't know, I'm around to be consulted. Any word, I'm around. The working dictionary for Luganda. Actually, we call it inclusive. I don't know if you knew that dictionary in Luganda is called inclusive. So I am the working inclusive. I don't have to speak it because I am it. And thank you very much for joining us. And this is the time for us today. Make sure there are places that you don't miss to visit. Remember, I said earlier, our ladies who are going to moderate the ceremony at Hotel Africana tomorrow, that ceremony is by invitation. The ladies are in the house. We have Hajati Zahara Ziwa. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Abbas Group of Companies. Abbasi Group of Companies. Abbasi Group of Companies. We. Direct and also director of Hijaz community. I heard about Hijaz community and it's a very beautiful community. Please take your time, slowly you visit that corner and get yourself information. Together with Natkunda Hafsa, the director, HR, Reserve Private Sector Foundation in Uganda. They are in the house. They will be moderating our tomorrow's function at Hotel Africana. Whereas those of us who would not have received the invitation, we shall be here, dancing, singing songs, reading poems, eating different types of food, starting with the fufu. Food is starting with the fufu. Made in Nigeria. I'm sure you are there. Beautiful scouts. Ladies and gentlemen are all here. It is almost time, and the time is almost here. And here is the time. The time is here. The whole my side is almost full. and I continue to welcome you and will continue to adjust ourselves. Let me say this again. COVID-19 is about to get to COVID-20, and that is what they have told us. The 19 is almost getting to 20. Take care of yourself. It is self-service. Protect yourself here and outside of this place. We still want you alive to serve the Ummah. Please protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself from COVID-19. They say COVID-19 is real, and of course it is real. While we interact, let's protect ourselves. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. There's one corner that you will need to visit, very historical. The first ever council in this country, which has now become cultural regalia for Baganda, actually is being manufactured here and now at that corner. All the tools to manufacture and the manufacturers are there. I remember showing you Professor while moving around. Very beautiful. They have some on exhibition. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a day for all. Eating, dancing, speaking, dressing. And we shall have football today. We shall, today and tomorrow. We shall also have netball, volleyball, tag of war, war of tag, egg race, reg race, sack race, race sack, omweso, soro, sonko, console. All that is here for you to participate in. Make sure you don't miss any of this. I repeat, football, of course, ball foot. Netball, ball in the net. Volleyball, ball in the volley. Tag of war, war in the tag. Egg race, that race of the egg. Sack race, race of the sack. Omweso, the small things you've thrown in very many, I don't know why. That one, please entertain yourself and be part of it. I hear the band. What it means is our people are around, and when our guests arrive, I know we shall all stand up for recognition and remain standing, and we shall have our open prayer, recitation of the Quran by one of our students, and then we go for the anthems, the national anthem, the East African anthem, the Buganda anthem. The kingdom is already here. The Islamic University in Uganda anthem, and of course the Scouts. Then we'll have the welcoming remarks by Professor Ismail Simbo Jagenda, Director, Islamic University in Uganda. There will be some short video presentation and then followed by remarks by the OIC Secretary General in charge of culture and so on and so forth. And we shall also have remarks by His Excellency Saudi Permanent Mission OIC in Jeddah. And then we'll go for the keynote address on the topic culture, education, and development, experiences from the Muslim world, by none other than Professor Usman Murzik Kobo from Ohio State University, United States of America. And then there will be remarks and opening of the exhibition by the guest of honor. And that is when we shall now be allowed officially to delve into the different stalls and see what is happening. You see this book? This one. It is here, 350,000. Imagine what is inside. Beautiful. I know you have the money. Get a copy and go home with you. Uganda, get way to the Pearl of Africa. Our guests are coming in and take this opportunity to welcome them. The band is coming in. Here we have the Secretary General of the Muslim Scouts and the other big officials, including the Secretary General. They are coming in. I see the rector leading the delegation for the cultural event Organization of Islamic Cooperation in partnership with Islamic University in Uganda. From here, we shall have opening prayer, and then we'll go to the anthems, starting with the national anthem, the East African anthem, and the Uganda anthem. Huh? Where is the lady for the opening prayer?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين الحكيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you very much for that very beautiful recitation. Now we go to our anthems, to the commander.
Parade miguu pande, parade miguu sawa. Chukuncha bendera, take over. Wa flag ya Uganda, heshima toa. Wa flag ya East Africa, heshima toa.
Ora Uganda yafe, ekiti
Ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyabadda naffe tukikuumenga. Abaana ba leero batumanye okukuza Buganda, nga tujjukira nnyo bajjajja baffe abafiirira ensi yaffe. Twesiimye nnyo olwa Buganda yaffe. Ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyabadda naffe tukikuumenga. Nze nayimba kyane sitenda Ssaabasajja Kabaka asaanira afuge Obuganda bwonna naffe nga tubwesiga. Twesiimye nnyo olwa Buganda yaffe. Ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyabadda naffe tukikuumenga. Islamic University in Uganda, oh, you are the doorway to believing and living in diversity. Oh, you are the doorway to read and to lead with creativity. Oh, you are the doorway. My Lord, advance me with knowledge. Your words, your thoughts have me the ground to see and to see, receive and to give the best of me with Allah in the lead. Islamic University in Uganda, oh, you are the doorway to believing and living in diversity. Oh, you are the doorway, need to read and to live with creativity. Oh, you are the doorway. Mighty Islamic University, high imaning Allah for eternity. We excel, we live. Kalam my tulili. The best of me is Allah in the lead.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will have guest of honor. We'll have our keynote speaker. We'll have the OIC Assistant Secretary General. We'll have His Excellency, the Saudi Permanent Mission OIC in Jeddah, and the international delegates to take their seat at the front. And we have also chairs for our delegates, other delegates at the back. Can you take your seat as the inspection is done? Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear guest of honor, for your inspection. Allow me to continue with my demonstrations.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Our guest of honor, the OIC Assistant Secretary General, the Saudi Permanent Mission of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in Jeddah, our rector, sir, our keynote speaker, Your Excellencies in your different capacities, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers, my sisters, I salute you with the salutations of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Indeed, it is with great pleasure that we receive you all to our inaugural session of the OIC and the Islamic University in Uganda cultural event, and our program as circulated will run as follows. We'll have our welcoming remarks by the rector and a short video presentation. We shall then invite the OIC Assistant Secretary General to make his remarks. His Excellency, the Saudi Permanent Mission OIC in Jeddah, and we shall then have the keynote address. We'll have the remarks by our guest of honor and the closing prayer, which shall be wrapped up by the anthems. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor as chair of this session to introduce to you Professor Ismail Simba Jagenda, the rector who assumed office at the Islamic University in Uganda on 1st January 2021. He was born on June 16, 1956 in Tendero, Shema district, and he graduated from Makerere University in 1979 with a first-class BA honors in literature and religious studies. He holds a concurrent diploma in education, and he was also the chairman at his time of the Muslim Students Association in Makerere. From 1988 to 2016, he obtained his master's in education administration and supervision from the University of District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. in 1989. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, he joined as an assistant professor at a graduate teacher program at Tiffin College of Education in Mercer University, Atlanta campus, where he taught from 2001 to 2016. He is known for his scholarly works, he is known for his administrative duties, and he is married and blessed with 6 children. His hobbies include reading and recreation soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the rector of the Islamic University in Uganda, Professor Dr. Ismail Simbo Jagenda, to come and make his remarks. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his ni'mah of good life, of health. May his salawat and barakat be on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Your Excellency, the Assistant Secretary General, Humanitarian, Culture and Social Services of OIC, the permanent representative of the Royal Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to OIC, Your Excellency, the Director General, International Union of Muslim Scouts, and other dignitaries from OIC, different agencies, the Mufti of Uganda, represented by the Deputy Mufti, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, diplomatic corps, members of parliament, local leaders, my management, staff, students, and the general public. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is a historic day. This week has been a historic week. For the first time in the history of Islamic University in Uganda, which is now 34 years old, the Secretariat of OIC has put its light on IUIU, Islamic University in Uganda. Over the past few days, we have had several meetings connected to Islamic University in Uganda. On Wednesday, the management committee of King Fahd Plaza, which is our only endowment now, Waqf, sat. The following day, the University Council sat, chaired by His Excellency Mr. Faisal Abdulaziz Azamel, who hails from Kuwait. We sat in Imbali. The following day, yesterday, over 2,200 young Muslims and non-Muslims from all over the world graduated and joined the world to shape it, to be part of the transformation with the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that they have learned, they're getting from IUIU. And today, that ceremony was headed, the graduation was headed by the chairman, but also represented by the Secretary General, by the Assistant Secretary General, Science and Technology, Ambassador Askar Masino. Today, the Secretary General is being represented by the Assistant Secretary General, Humanitarian, Cultural and Social Services, Ambassador Tariq Ali Bakhit. So, OIC has sent 2 distinguished members of the top echelons to be here with us one after the other. Takbir! Takbir! I don't know what is more important. Is it education or culture? I don't know. I think they are the same level, because if you don't know who you are, then why are you studying? And when you study when you don't know who you are, then it means you can be anything. So yesterday, education was stressed. Today is culture. It's up to you to tell us whether one is more important than the other. As far as I'm concerned, both of them are key to making a human being. And for us Muslims, Islamic culture is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. We are Muslims, that is it. End of the story. But that doesn't mean that we also don't love the others. Of course, in Uganda, we have Christians in different denominations, and we live side by side in peace. So we are here to say that we are Muslims and we have different cultures. When you see me dressed like this is the way a Muganda man, Muslim, dresses, especially when they are going for nikah. You know, that's the most important time. So you go like this to beg somebody for the hands of their daughter. For me, I'm already spoken for. Dr. Warda is not here, but I'm allowed 3 others, but that's a different story. But this is the way we dress when we are going for marriage. When you go like this, they know that you're a Muslim Muganda or Muslim Ugandan. Because sometimes we borrow from each other. So Sudanese, our council is different. It doesn't have big arms, because the weather here is a bit cooler. But also this dress is interesting because we are very creative. When the Arabs brought the kanzu, we took it. Then the British brought the coat. We said, why bother? Let us just join the two. And so we got the kanzu from the Arabs and the coat from the British. You will never find a British man dressed like this. And you'll never find an Arab dressed like this. This is Buganda. Very creative. And of course, you know the importance of this one. I don't have to talk about it. So very creative. But the Nigerians became a little bit more, curious. For them, they created their own, and you'll see it. And the Sudanese decided that the small arms are not good. The big ones are better. And so forth and so forth. You're going to see this creativity as you go around. You're going to see zinzinia, like the one my grandmother used to have. You know, my grandmother was a very different human being. Allah rahmah still. Fatima would come to our home, which is a home of an imam, because my father was an imam, and she would come with her own brick. And one day I asked her, are we Catholics? Why are you coming with your own brick? We have brick. Then she said, Ismail, leave me alone. I have to come with my own brick because I don't trust that you'll be, so that is the Muslim culture at that time. They would come with their own bricks because they wanted to make sure that the time of Salah, there's no excuse. She'll put the water and keep the brick with her. Then you are going to walk around and you are going to see all kinds of interesting artifacts. And then we have guests here who are going to show us Islamic calligraphy. How do you write those beautiful Quranic verses in very artistic way, in a way that inspires the soul. They've come all the way from Morocco, and the head, who is the chief, who is in sits in Turkey, is also here. So we welcome all our international guests. There are over 20 international guests have come to partake of this. But Your Excellencies, our students, the scouts, you have already seen how the scouts have taken over my university beautifully, led by my professor Katerega, who taught me how to be a good man and a good Muslim a long time ago when I met her at Makerere University. Professor Katerega, I want to thank you. So that is my speech. It is coming from the heart. It is not written. I know some people are saying, why is he just talking? I mean, it is from my heart. Is that a problem? I'm speaking from my heart to all of you, and also to thank OIC for having chosen Uganda and IUIU to tell people that we are Muslims and we are different, but we are Muslims. The Somalis dress differently from the Nigerians, but we are all Muslims. The Baganda Muslims dress from the Banubi differently, but we are all Muslims. Diversity, unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. We all believe in La ilaha illallah, all of us. And so I don't want to take much time. The theme is culture, education, and development, experiences from the Muslim world. And the sponsors are OIC, Organization of Islamic Conference, Directorate of Humanitarian, Cultural and Social Services, as well as Islamic University in Uganda. I want to thank the Secretariat, the Secretary General, and the visitors, the Assistant Secretary General, Humanitarian, Culture and Human Resources, the permanent representative of the Royal Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and all the other international guests who are here, including my friend, Professor Osman Murzi Kobo, who came all the way from Paris, where he was on sabbatical, but actually is domiciled in Ohio State University as a professor of Islamic history. He's the one really who is going to come and talk. I should leave talking to the people who know what to talk. And for me, I must thank my team, led by Dr. Halima Akbar, the academic registrar, who took on this committee organizing this, and were led by officials from Jeddah, the two young men. If you don't mind, come here, please, and stand with me, please, because we were the organizers. Please come and introduce yourself and say salam, because I know that you spent a lot of time on this, please.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here with you, brothers and sisters. It's a pleasure to be among you, to participate in this great event. But the whole credit goes to the Islamic University of Uganda. They have done a tremendous effort to get this event happen, and you're all welcome to this event. My name is Hussein Ghazwi. I'm Director of Culture at the OIC. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, nice to meet you. Thank you very much for all. My name is Khalid Hussainov. I also work for Cultural Affairs Department in OIC.
Thank you. So we held many virtual meetings with guidance and arguments and budgets and all that. So all this effort is really the two working together, OIC and IUIU, over many hours of work. And we are here today. Tomorrow we come back here until 1 o'clock. And then in the evening, invited guests will be at Africana Hotel to do the finale. So I welcome you, and now I have the honor to, I think, let me leave it to the organizers. Let me not mess up the program. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. At this point, we shall request that the video is played before we call on His Excellency.
منظمة التعاون الإسلامي المظلة الجامعة لدول العالم الإسلامي هي حلقة الوصل لأكثر من 1,600,000,000 مسلم على وجه الأرض. جرى تأسيسها في عام 1969 على أصداء حريق المسجد الأقصى المبارك، لتجمع في ركابها 1.5 مليار مسلم في 57 دولة من 4 قارات، وتصبح من أكبر المنظمات الدولية في العالم، يرفضها أكثر من 26 منظمة متفرعة ومنتمية ومتخصصة. تأخذ المنظمة من جدة في المملكة العربية السعودية مقرا لها، ليمنحها قربها من مكة المكرمة مكانة خاصة تستقطب المسلمين حولها. عمل دؤوب يقوده الأمين العام للمنظمة في جميع الاتجاهات وعلى أعلى المستويات وفي قمم الملوك والأمراء والقادة، واجتماعات وزارية لا حصر لها تبحث ملفات ساخنة ومتعددة.
As you well know, the political security challenges and developments faced by the Sahel countries, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, and the Lake Chad Basin, Cameroon, Chad, Niger and Nigeria, as well as Central Republic of Africa, Mozambique and Guinea, reflects an important interest for the OIC. We underline the need to increase efforts to achieve peace and stability in these regions, and we call on the member states of the OIC institutions as well as international partners to help these regions to face up to the challenges confronting them.
القضية الفلسطينية والقدس الشريف موقع الصدارة جنبا إلى جنب مع أزمات اليمن وليبيا وسوريا وغيرها، وتلقي التحديات الجسام على المنظمة مسؤولية استلهام منبرها الجامع لإيجاد خطاب معتدل ومعاصر يواجه خطر الإرهاب والتطرف الديني، وهي تواصل تطورها في مختلف المجالات من
Thank you very much. Our chief guest and honorable members here, Your Excellencies, at this point, we're going to have the remarks by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Assistant Secretary General in charge of humanitarian, cultural and social affairs. Our speaker today, or at this time, has worked in different ranks. He joined the OIC in 2004 as the director in charge of cooperation with international organizations and has represented the OIC in many international and regional meetings. He has also served in the Sudanese Foreign Service in 1988 and served in different capacities within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Khartoum and in the Sudan's diplomatic missions in Lagos and in New York. In addition to the African Union, he has worked in several intergovernmental bodies, including the Arab League. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the Assistant Secretary General for the Humanitarian, Cultural and Social Affairs under the OIC, His Excellency Tariq Ali Bakri. You're welcome, sir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد أشرف الخلق أجمعين. Excellency, the representative of the Ministry of Youth and Sports of the Government of Uganda, Professor Ismail, Rector of the Islamic University in Uganda, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests and delegates, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Allow me first, on behalf of the OIC Secretary General, Excellency Hussein Ibrahim Taha, to express my great pleasure for being here in this beautiful city of Kampala to attend with you this August gathering. So, Mr. Professor Ismail, this statement is from the Secretary General, although it's a written speech, but it's from the heart of the OIC Secretary General. I would like to begin by expressing my profound thanks to the leadership of the Islamic University of Uganda for collaborating with the OIC and for working hard to make this unique cultural event happen. I also want to seize the opportunity to convey the General Secretary's sincere gratitude to the government, the Republic of Uganda, the host country, for the continuous support extended to OIC, and particularly to the Islamic University in Uganda, to enable it to carry out its noble duty of training future leaders and making them good citizens willing to contribute to the development of their homeland. As an affiliated organ of the OIC, I take satisfaction at the commendable work carried out by the Islamic University in Uganda, and I would particularly express my appreciation to His Excellency Professor Ismail, Rector of the University, for his strong sense of leadership and his dedication to uphold the values of Islamic education and culture. The significant work carried out by IUIU is noted, commended, and appreciated. The programs and activities undertaken by IUIU, as well outstanding service to the cause of promoting knowledge in the Islamic world, which integrates Islamic values with modern knowledge across all disciplines, are examples of such effective IUIU work. Indeed, the contemporary global crisis, especially in the Muslim world and the region of the OIC geography, have shifted the attention once again to the question of education and its prior contribution to finding the right answers to critical problems. In this regard, IUIU can play a significant role as a leading center of excellence in education, research, and innovation throughout the region in this dynamic of offering quality education and training to Ugandans and African youth in general to build their capacities and reinforce their talents. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, one of the priorities of the OIC General Secretariat is to promote, encourage, and work for more cultural exchange among member states. Such exchange would definitely contribute to enriching our common heritage within the Muslim Ummah and filling the cultural gaps and misunderstandings between Muslims and non-Muslims. We thus hope that this cultural activity will serve as a good example of what should be done to create cultural spaces, multiple interaction venues, and optimal outreach channels to connect Muslim communities within the OIC bigger family. While involving other non-Muslim communities in this positive dynamic of mutual understanding and cooperation. It is obvious that cultural diversity has been recognized as a significant factor for sustainable development and is now being seen as a fundamental element with an important role to play in poverty eradication and the protection and conservation of cultural and historical heritage. Cultural diversity, composed of the wealth of languages, ideas, religions, kinships, customs, and traditions, artistic works, rituals, and other creative expressions, has been a major factor of development. It is also a dynamic process within which cultural change can best be managed through intercultural dialogue, projecting a true image of our civilization and protecting its values and heritage are also among the main priorities objectives of the OIC agenda. In this regard, we aim to develop the Islamic University through cultural cooperation between our member states. At the same time, we aim to connect with and assist culturally the Muslim communities and minorities outside the member states as a way to encourage mutual understanding and dialogue with other cultures and share common aspects and the diversities of our heritage towards building constructive dialogues with peoples worldwide. I'm confident that such lofty objectives will be only set in the light of day with the necessary support of our member states. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the OIC believes that education and science are the main tools for human development and well-being, and thus have to be at the top of our agenda and plans of actions. The progress and prosperity of societies also always depend on their investment in education and scientific research. There is a need to equip the youth, women, and children's vulnerable segments of society with proper education and scientific knowledge. Having access to education is not only a necessity, but also the right of every person. In today's world, science and technology offers offer answers to shared threats of poverty, spread of diseases, climate change, food and water security, among others. Science and technology can also help us in seizing common opportunities in promoting peace and sustainable development. Recognizing this imperative, the first OIC Summit on Science and Technology held in September in 2017 in Kazakhstan adopted a 10-year program of action. The OIC Science and Technology and Innovation STI Agenda 2026, which makes recommendations with specific targets for the development of science, technology, and innovation in the Muslim world. Ladies and gentlemen, since the beginning of 2020, the world troubled by COVID-19 pandemic, which had put the entire humanity into serious trouble at levels with expected long-term social, cultural, economic, and political impacts on all segments of our societies, particularly on youth. The engagement of youth at local, national, and global levels has proven to be the most indicative way towards the required concerted global action effectively address the vast majority of challenges that humanity currently faces, as COVID-19 outbreak and the fight against radicalization and violence. I'm glad to inform you that within the framework of supporting youth, the OIC has adopted the OIC Youth Strategy with significant sustainable policies for the empowerment of youth. The OIC General Secretariat stands thus ready for operation with all member states as well as institutions and partners working in the field of youth and leadership in many activities that would contribute to strengthening youth capabilities and activating the role in the Islamic world. Finally, I wish also on behalf of OIC Secretary General to express and to wish access to the distinguished IUU and the leadership students and all staff members for their efforts and contributions to the success of this important event. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thank you all for your attention.
Barakallahu fikum wa jazakallahu khair. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, our guest of honor, at this point, we are moving with our program, and we're going to receive the remarks from His Excellency, the Saudi Permanent Mission of the OIC in Jeddah, and also the Deputy of the President of the Islamic Solidarity Fund, is none other than Professor Dr. Saleh Hamad Al-Suhaibani. Your Excellency, we welcome you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين القائل: يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من شعوب وقبائل لتعارفوا، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين. أيها الأخوة والأخوات، صاحب المعالي مدير الجامعة البروفيسور إسماعيل سنبو، صاحب السعادة الأمين العام المساعد لمنظمة التعاون الإسلامي للشؤون الإنسانية والثقافية، سعادة ممثل وزارة التعليم العالي، صاحب السعادة أمين عام الاتحاد العالمي للكشاف المسلم، فضيلة مفتي أوغندا، أصحاب السعادة أيها السيدات والسادة، أيها الطلاب والطالبات، السلام عليكم. سلام محبة وشكر يشع نورها في فضاء كمبالا سعادة وفرحا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. His Excellency started by praising the Almighty Allah who has enabled us to gather here. He's the one who created us in different nations and races for the purpose of one understanding one another. Then he praised and thanked Allah for his choosing Prophet Muhammad being the messenger who did his role to propagate the mission. Then protocolarly he welcomed and thanked the presence of the rector, Dr. Professor Simba Ismail Jagenda, the assistant OIC secretary, and the representative from Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And Musepi Mota. And I'm so sorry to speak in Arabic because my specialization, as I am a professor in university teaching Arabic, and this is the holy language, as you know. So please allow me to speak in Arabic while we have a very good, mashallah, translator. Thank you so much.
سيدي أعتذر للخطأ أنه سيستخدم اللغة العربية، هي لغتي الرسمية
in English. Sorry, in English. You translate in English. I translate in English.
لأنكم تحدثون بالعربية أنا
أي نعم. أيوة. طيب اسمحوا لي أن أمزق هذه الورقة لأنها لا تستطيع أن تتحمل عبارات الشكر والتقدير والامتنان والسعادة لأوغندا وللشعب الأوغندي المضياف.
So His Excellency has just torn the paper, that just a simple paper. He can't put all his gratitude and thankfulness to the people of Uganda and all who had put their effort to organize this event.
كما أن ما نعيشه وإياكم من حرارة جو جميل هو بلا شك ما وجدناه من حرارة مشاعر ومن استقبال رائع ومن أنشطة وفعاليات جميلة.
That this ideal and moderate weather you have, we have not only seen it as a weather but even in among the people, the way you welcomed us, and the way you received us shows also the temperate heart you have in mind.
شكرا. أصحاب السعادة أيها السيدات والسادة، اسمحوا لي بأن أقول لكم بأن الملابس الجميلة التي نلبسها وحدثنا عنها معالي مدير الجامعة لن يكون لها قيمة أو أثر بعد 5 سنوات لأنها ستبلى.
So he is saying that the dress he's putting on, as the vice rector talked about it, after 5 years, maybe you may not see it.
كذلك الكراسي الجميلة الفاخرة التي نجلس عليها الآن قد لا يكون لها فائدة بعد 5 أو 7 أو 8 سنوات.
So everything expensive to you, like the seats, maybe after 5 years, you may not see them still having that essential importance to you.
ولكن مثل هذه الأنشطة والفعاليات هي بلا شك سيكون لها أكبر القيمة والفائدة ليس بعد 5 أو 10 بل بعد مئات السنين بإذن الله تعالى للطلاب والطالبات.
So such events which display the cultures and also the culture of Islam, this one has no time limit. Even after 25 years, we shall have it as a STEAM culture and the issues of great importance.
لا سيما وأن هذا الموضوع مرتبط بالثقافة والتعليم والتنمية في العالم الإسلامي باعتبار أن هذا الحدث هو منصة دولية للمؤسسات الثقافية والتعليم العالي.
So also as the culture is to empower education, civilization, it is very important that we focus a lot on its exhibition and its fair.
لذلك لن ينسى الطلاب والطالبات ولا حتى كوادر الجامعة وأساتذتها هذا النشاط الذي في الواقع بلا شك سوف يترك أثرا لديهم، لا سيما أن هناك موضوعات عن ريادة الأعمال وعن القيادة وبناء القدرات، فهنيئا للجامعة أن تقوم وتتولى تنظيم مثل هذا الحدث العالمي الرائع.
So this international exhibition, it will as a must leave a mark, not only in the students of this institution, but even in the lecturers. So we have to take it as an important event.
ولذلك نتطلع من خلال هذا الحدث، من خلال تنظيم الجامعة وبحضور هذه الوجوه كلها من البروفيسورات والأساتذة وكذلك الشباب والشابات ومن مختلف الدول، أن نتطلع أن يستفيد الجيل الجديد من هذه الثقافات والتجارب في سبيل بناء جسور من التسامح والتعارف وتبادل أيضا التجارب الرائعة والتقارب ونشر ثقافة التسامح التي هي من قيم الإسلام السمحة.
So as the intention of this occasion of culture, whereby we are passing on the values of the Islamic culture, these delegates, the professors, doctors, and the youth, and the population at large, we take it to be an event that will leave a mark.
رسالتي الثانية هي بأن المملكة العربية السعودية الذي أنا واحد من أبنائها وأفتخر بذلك، وهي قبلة المسلمين وموئل الرسالة النبوية رسالة الرحمة، قد قدمت للجامعة الكثير من المساعدات المباشرة وغير المباشرة.
As a representative of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia being the heart and the center of the Muslims, it has done a lot to see that the university still float and with the program being helped so that they are put in place.
ونحن إذ نشكر حكومة أوغندا وما قدمته حقيقة من مساعدات وتسهيلات وأرض وأساتذة وكذلك جهود كبيرة في سبيل أن تصل الجامعة إلى ما وصلت إليه من تقدم وازدهار.
I take this opportunity to thank the government of Uganda for all its effort it has put in buying the land, helping the academic staff to see that the university has reached its height the way it is now.
فالمملكة العربية السعودية كما تعرفون هي أكبر مساهم في ميزانية الأمانة العامة لمنظمة التعاون الإسلامي وفي صندوق التضامن الإسلامي.
So the Islamic organization of cooperation is through the Saudi Arabia. They are the major funders of this institution, and they have done a lot in its donate to this institution year in, year out.
وما وقف الملك فهد بلازا إلا جزء من هذا الدعم، وكذلك وجودي بينكم حقيقة رغم كثرة المشاغل إلا تأكيدا لدعم المملكة لهذه الجامعة، وستواصل الدعم بإذن الله لهذه الجامعة لتصل إلى مستويات أعلى.
So cited one example of the donations the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has extended to this university. The King Fahd Plaza, which is situated in the heart of the city Kampala, has a big endowment for this institution, and allowing them with their big tasks ahead of them to be with you here. It is a gesture of the heart the Saudi Arabian government has to see that this university grows and reach its height.
لأنكم حقيقة أنتم أيها الأساتذة وكذلك الطلاب ورثة الأنبياء كما ورد في الحديث.
So he's saying that the lecturers as the trustees of the knowledge, and the students, because you are looking for knowledge, you are the vicegerent of the messengers of Allah, as it is in the hadith.
الرسالة الثالثة وقبل الأخيرة بأن العالم كما تعرفون يتغير بسرعة والتعليم يتطور بشكل أسرع، لذا يجب أن ننتقل في الجامعة من تقديم المعرفة إلى مرحلة أكثر أهمية وهي التدريب والتعليم وتبادل الخبرات.
So the third issue before the last one is that the world is moving on very fast, more so as we are living in the generation which is known as the information age. We need also the university to take the same pace.
وكيفية توظيف هذه المعرفة للحياة لدى الطلاب والتركيز على الاقتصاد المعرفي واستثمار كذلك هذا الميدان وما فيه من معطيات في سبيل توظيفها لتدريب وتعليم الطلاب.
So in that arena is that we have to empower our students not to be job seekers, but also to be job creators by the education this university should give them.
وما هذا الحدث إلا جزء من هذا الانتقال حقيقة من المعرفة إلى تبادل الخبرات والتجارب.
And this is just a simple part on what the efforts of this people around they make.
فالحكمة الجديدة تقول قل لي سوف أنسى، ولذلك ربما الله أعطانا أذنين ليدخل الكلام من هنا ويخرج من الأخرى، ولكن أرني أشركني معك حتى أفهم وأدخل.
So he has given us a simple analogy that whatever you hear sometimes it may evaporate, but what you see ever it stays.
ولذلك أنا أؤكد بأن التطبيق والتدريب كما تعرفون هو الدرجة الأولى الآن، وأجزم أنه سيكون له البرامج الأعلى في الجامعة، فهي التي تثري الجامعات وتفيد الطلاب في الوقت الحالي.
So he's saying that educating and experimenting, that's the only way that we can help the students, and that is the gesture in among the speeches that and the meeting we have done with the university. That's the line they are in also.
لذلك أحيي هذه الجامعة بإدارتها وكوادرها الفاعلة وطلابها وطالباتها.
So he's appraising the university for that move of empowering the students with the knowledge and the practical part for their employment.
وأدعو نفسي وإياهم من أساتذة وطلاب ومسؤولين بإخلاص النية بالعمل، وكذلك أذكرهم بحديث الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم: من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له طريقا إلى الجنة.
So he's in his speech concluding with the hadith that I have to be very diligent and dedicated in our work, whereby because we are on a noble trend, because Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that he's somebody who seeks or go out to seek knowledge is as if going is on a path of entering Jannah.
في النهاية أود أن أزجي الشكر خالصا لحكومة جمهورية أوغندا وللشعب الأوغندي المضياف، والشكر كذلك الجزيل لا ينتهي بمعالي مدير الجامعة الإسلامية في أوغندا ولزملائه كافة على حسن الحفاوة وكرم الاستقبال والترحيب وجمال الترتيب لهذه الفعالية الرائعة.
As I conclude, I once again thank the government of Uganda for its effort for it gives this university, as well as thanking unlimited thanks goes to the rector of the university for his efforts to see that the university realizes its targets.
والشكر موصول كذلك للأمانة العامة لمنظمة التعاون الإسلامي على حسن التنسيق والمتابعة ممثلة بهذه الكوادر الرائعة الذين كانوا ينسقون لهذه الفعالية منذ عدة أشهر.
So he's also thanking the Assistant General of OIC for his efforts. He's also telling to the investor and also for this occasion to take place.
وكذلك لجميع المشاركين والمشاركات من مختلف الدول والجامعات وكذلك للمنظمات سواء نرسيكا أو الجهات الأخرى أو الاتحاد العالمي للكشاف المسلم فالشكر لهم جميعا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
So conclusively, I thank also all the participants, international and the local exhibitant and setting up ASICA. Thank you very much and God bless you.
والشكر لك أنت أخي على هذه الترجمة الرائعة.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, in your different capacities, a young man started his academic career. He did his bachelor's at the City College of New York in 1992. He then proceeded for a master's in international relations at the City College of New York in 1995. He attained his PhD in history at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 2005. He has served as a visiting professor of African history at Marquette University and Gettysburg College before joining the history department in 2006. He is well known for his research and his teaching, which includes the 20th century West African social and religious history, and has written many books, including Unveiling Modernity in West Africa Islamic Reforms from 1950 to 2000. He has also served and dedicated his time to organizing West African Muslim communities in the city of Columbus. Under his leadership, Muslims from Ghana have their own mosque or purchased their own masjid and created their own madrasa. His commitment to the Muslim communities demonstrated by his initiatives in creating Muslim charters and Muslim elementary schools in the city of Columbus. Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed privileged and we are indeed honored to have such an esteemed Muslim scholar in our, a Muslim scholar in our midst, a professor in Islamic history, I request you to join hand in listening and asking Professor Kobo Osman Mazrui Murzik. I'll repeat that. Professor Osman Murzik Kobo. We are really, really privileged to have you with us to give the keynote address.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Sister Dr. Halima Akbar, thank you so much for that very generous introduction. Now, Your Excellence, the Rector of IUIU, Professor Jaganda, the staff of IUIU, faculty and students of the university, other patrons and organizers of this event, I invite you to join me in recognizing the presence of highly distinguished guests representing the leadership and patrons of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. There are many other honorable distinguished leaders from various sectors of the government of Uganda, as well as guests who have come here because they value IUIU so much, including me. The fact that these great individuals have traveled long distances to be here is a testimony of how high they regard the place of African Muslim cultures and education in the formation of productive young Muslim youths. We are very grateful to all the guests. Now, it is a privilege and a great honor to have been invited to speak about culture, education, and development. They go together. I would like to pause and comment about what Professor Jaganda said. He described this as Uganda, and the one on top as being British. Where is the African? Which one represents the African? And I know the African is there. At any rate, I would like to emphasize the undisputable importance of continuing the support of African Muslim youths in a global environment of cultural fluidity, one that threatens the purity of our faith and the purity of our cultures. That's what I'm going to talk about. In doing so, I will offer a little bit of history. I'm a historian by training. What do you expect? A little bit of history in order to place our current experiences in historical perspectives. I hope to conclude that educating young African Muslims is crucial in preparing Africa's future leaders to be global citizens who will respect other cultures even as they seek to preserve their own, on the spirit of peaceful coexistence among diverse human experiences. But before we proceed, Professor Jaganda asked, what is the difference between education and culture? So I would like to take a moment to define what I mean by culture and education, and to put the two in conversation with each other. Would that satisfy you, sir? By culture, we mean the systems of norms, values, belief systems, customs, laws, morality, cuisine, the food we eat, and knowledge. Knowledge is part of the processes of producing culture as a way for people to identify themselves. And I mentioned knowledge last deliberately because knowledge is the living cell of culture. Knowledge is the living cell. Knowledge creates, sustains,